Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the second Buzz Price Thea Lifetime Achievement Award recipient after Buzz himself, Marty Sklar.
The Thea Classic Award honors a project that has stood the test of time, 20 years or more. Sometimes a show concept transcends its original source material and takes on a life of its own. In 1995, WaterWorld splashed into life at Universal Studios, and more than 2 decades later, and with similar versions at Universal Studios Japan and Universal Studios Singapore, the show continues to thrill and delight audiences. It was such a hit that it was honored with a Thea Award for Outstanding Achievement shortly after its premiere. Now, some 60,000 performances and 100 million guests later, the attraction is a classic among stunt show spectaculars. Described as a tidal wave of action, this rapid-paced show features incredible land and water-based stunts and effects. WaterWorld packs an astonishing array of thrills while eclipsing the fame and reach of the film upon which it was based.
It is a world of hand-to-hand combat, high falls, and dramatic explosions. It is a world of skilled stunt performers, extraordinary special effects, and expansive production values. It is a world that is more popular today than it was when it opened 22 years ago. It is WaterWorld at Universal Studios Hollywood, the 2017 Thea Classic Award recipient. WaterWorld was a pioneer of the industry when first launched in 1995, and today continues to be one of the most technically proficient and popular shows of its kind, generating amongst the highest guest ratings in the park, almost unheard of for a 22-year-old show. In 2014, Universal Studios Hollywood partnered with Action Horizons to re-energize the show for a new generation of theme park guests. By refocusing the creative, layering in bigger and bolder action sequences, and finding the best stunt performers in the industry, we were able to take full advantage of the 40,000 square foot arena and 1.4 million gallon lagoon to mount our most explosive version of the show yet. From the launch of a full-size seaplane to a 50-foot high fire dive, WaterWorld exceeds the expectations of what guests expect from a theme park show. And every punch, every gunshot, and every explosion is delivered in powerful 11.1 surround sound. For more than 2 decades and 20,000 performances, the talented cast and crews of WaterWorld have brought our guests closer to the worlds of filmmaking, stunt work, and special effects than any other show in theme park history. WaterWorld, truly a live SeaWar spectacular at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Still drawing crowds more than 20 years after premiering, the dramatic story of a world where seas have covered all the earth and fresh water is a priceless commodity inspires the memorable stunt and action sequences of a true classic in themed entertainment. WaterWorld is a rare, explosive, slashing spectacle that stands the test of time for creating and maintaining one of the most impressive action stunt spectaculars in our industry. I'm proud to present the Thea Classic Award to WaterWorld at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Accepting the award for WaterWorld is Senior VP Entertainment, Universal Studios Hollywood, Tim Runco. And from Action Horizons, Peter Nelson.
Well, thank you, Marty, and thank you, TEA. And boy, it's just really an honor to be here. And as the evening goes on, you become more and more humble, just looking at the stories and the creativity and the people in this room. And in this room, you know, this storied park, it's just pretty amazing to be standing here. And the thing I was thinking about at the table is it's a little awkward for me because 22 years ago when this show started, I actually worked here. I wasn't up there. I wasn't part of the opening production team. And yesterday, I was talking to Adam Bezark. This part of the speech is where I'm off the script. It's his fault. We were talking about where, you know, how did it open? What went into the opening? What were the problems? You know, and I felt badly I don't know that much about it. We're so focused on taking care of it now and the problems, you know, today and keeping it going. In the program, we do have the list of the production team that worked on it in 1995. They actually won an award in 1996, I think, for outstanding achievement. And I just wonder if you could go back to the Wayback Machine and tell them, you know, in 2017, that show would be represented and would be winning an award. I mean, that would be pretty unbelievable, you know, unbelievable thing. And the one thing is, while I don't know the specifics about what they went through, including why WaterWorld, is, again, to my marketing friends, I always want to say IPs are important, but they're not everything, is the one thing I'm pretty certain about is I'm sure that they wish they had more time. I'm sure they wish they had more money. And the show, you may not know, is there was a show there previously. I think it was Miami Vice. And so they had to squeeze this show into this existing lagoon. You know, and it's a pretty large body of water. And to take a new show, figure out how to make this seaplane launch, the high fall, where are you going to put things, where do people go? I'm sure that there were a lot of late nights, broken pencils, you know, and a lot of Advil taken to figure out, I don't know if there was Advil then, aspirin. But whatever you guys did in the, what was it?
Panadol in Australia.
Okay, there's an Australian drug, he'll tell you, is you must have made a lot of good choices or we wouldn't be standing here today. You know, there's a quote on the wall in the entertainment suite that when you have time and you're not crazy busy, you look at. It's from Carl Laemmle back in the early 1900s when he founded the studio. It's about his view of films and of the studio. And it's something to the effect of, you know, just use the brains God gave you to make them laugh, make them cry, and put them on the edge of your seat. And really, that's what we do, you know. And maybe WaterWorld doesn't make them cry, but it certainly makes them laugh and puts them on the edge of their seat. And I think Carl would think that it accomplished what he set out to do, and he'd be very proud of it. But then, you know, you think of the opening team, there's 22 years of persistence and tenacity, again, that other people just went through, you know, rain, shine. Theme park shows run anywhere from 2 to 10 times a day. Just the relentlessness of it, of these performers, to keep this thing going, because 22 years is an eternity for a show in a theme park. And I just think the pressure to put on it is theme park shows are expensive, they're high maintenance. There's always a ride and attraction that probably has better throughput, the economics look better. And for it to survive that just says something about the story, the way it's done, and live entertainment, that it is still there. So before I hand this off to Peter, I know it's getting late, but I just wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for some of the people at Table 11 that helped me and helped us get this where it is today. Some of you may have met Stacy Quinalty, our sound designer, in the talk we gave the other day. What this man can do with sound is as good as any what ride vehicle can do as far as taking you to another place. And that quote we heard earlier about just bringing passion and doggedness to your work, that's Stacy. And just the amazingly good fortune we have to have him part of this team is one reason it's successful today. And then you can have all the good ideas and good intentions in the world, but if you can't build it, it's just an idea. It's just in the ether. And there's a gentleman at that table, Steven Sirks. He's our senior director of production. That in the 21-day window that we had in this one about 3 years ago to fix some things, it's remarkable what he was able to do in a large organization to do some things that should take 90 days, take 6 months, to accomplish, and that the show wouldn't be what it is today without the passion he brought to it. And then I think lastly is, in a theme park, you just don't get to do it once. And it's one thing to open a show and have it look great on opening day or the first week. But like I said, there's a relentlessness to it. And every guest deserves a great show, whether you see the first show, the third show, 3 weeks, 3 months, 1,000 shows, or in this case, 22 years. It should be performed in the same meticulous, safe, and fashion as it was on day one. And we've got a guy, Brett King, who runs this show. And it's maybe not as glamorous once we all walk away, but he's out there every day making sure this thing's on time and safe. And without those guys and their teams, I would not be standing here and we wouldn't be getting this award. So thanks, you guys. So I want to turn this over. The last little piece, though, is a little bit of insider information. As we do guest surveys weekly, like any business, and our surveys came back last week, and interestingly enough, WaterWorld was the highest rated attraction in this new park of ours. And it goes neck and neck with our best, strongest attractions. You think, how can that be with this state-of-the-art CGI and these amazing attractions that we've got? And it has a lot to do, I think, with live entertainment. There's no screen, there's no glasses. When that guy gets hit, you feel the thump. When that shotgun goes off, that man is really on fire in front of you. He's in your space. I think there's something about that that's just so unique to live entertainment that it can hold up. But it would not work unless it was flawlessly executed. I know that's an overused phrase these days, but it's true, particularly when you're talking about punches and jet skis and jumps and pyrotechniques. And when you talk about good fortune, is we started working a few years back with Action Horizons, and what they bring every day to the way this is done is, I've seen that bucket fight. You might have seen, we call it the bucket fight on the clip a minute ago, where Helen hits this guy in the face. I've watched it rehearsed, we've talked about it, but when I see it, you wince every time because you believe it. And that's just because of this organization, Action Horizons, that we've been able to work for. So I want to introduce Peter. If we had a little more time, I'd yell Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. But I think I'll just say Peter Nelson.
Well, thanks very much, Tim. I got to tell you, what an honor. Over 20 years ago, I was standing on stage co-receiving the Thea Award for WaterWorld, and here we are today. That's 2. So, like Marty said before, 22 years, over 20,000 performances, hundreds and thousands of performers and crew, seen by over 100 million people, and it's all for this genuine bag of dirt. So what a team. I'd like to thank all you guys.
Would you look at that? Looks like we got ourselves some kind of celebration. Are you kidding me? You! I should have known that you would try to steal what is rightfully mine. Quiet! Shh. I want you to tell me something. What have you done to deserve that? Does your seaplane crash hourly? No. Have you died daily for the last 22 years? No. You have to work day in and day out with idiots like this?
What's your point?
Yeah, okay, maybe. Well, the point, Peter, is that I'm done screwing around. Boys! Let's go crash a party. Nobody move! We got security, take them out. Finish him. All right. Peter, you got in a couple of cheap shots. I bet that felt great. Tim, you better hand that thing over. We're going to have ourselves a little barbecue. Oh, wow. Time's up. Light him up. You're fired. He seemed like such a nice guy, too. I have waited years to receive my just reward. And I've given the blood, sweat, and tears of so many other people. Now, unless you want this guy to be the next shrimp on the Barbie, I strongly suggest, Tim, that you give me what I want. Finally. We got ourselves a bag of dirt! Who's crazy now, Tim? See you guys in another 22 years, suckers!
All right. Well, so that's what my life is like every day. Anyway, once again, thank you to TEA. This is a tremendous honor. You know, thank you, Marty, for the presentation. That's awesome, Marty Sklar. You know, and thank you to my team and Peter. And Peter, I think our ride is here.